Good.
All right, we are recording.
Got it. All right. So after much technical difficulties and after Leah's husband had to literally save us from the harsh reality that we are not good at technology, we have decided to do a pre-recorded, but I am going to do a live on TikTok so we can still get questions from the Witchy friends.
Yes, love
still,
that for us.
As always, my episodes are always saved by the host. Mrs.M had to do it in my first video. So I've decided I just need to get Zoom because everything else is just messed up.
Oh my God. Listen, I got really familiar with Zoom during quarantine. So I'm like, dude, Zoom. I love it. Zoom. I'm on it. It just works. Right. It just works.
Now let me get on TikTok. And I probably should turn that audio off because it'll probably reverb.
Mm-hmm.
I was right about something.
You were.
Oh no, I'm gonna end this live because it says skincare and gossiping. When did I do a skincare and gossiping? I don't know. Like honestly, I don't put nothing past me. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. It's just 3, 2, 1. Let's see where we got this. We got this. Let's see. Is it connected? All right, it's connected. Oh, it's lost signal. Don't you love that? That's good signal. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, witchy friends. After much technical difficulties and only being saved by Leah and her husband, amazing people. They should get a Purple Heart for their bravery. But if you are wanting to watch our live, we cannot do the live right now, but we are pre-recording it right now. But I did want to answer some of your questions. Before we get started, I did want to thank y'all for putting up with someone who does not know how to do technology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But thank you all for coming. For those that are going to trickle in, thank you so much. And this will be on my Leah's YouTube, and it'll be active on my YouTube and my Spotify within the next, I will say day, but odds are it'll be the last minute because it'll take me that long
ambitious.
It's a bit ambitious, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We will go the distance one day.
We're all right with it. We're okay with it.
We're cool with it. But we wanted to still do a live because I wanted to see if there's any questions that the witchy friends have. Let's see. Okay. Hello. We are have to do it pre-recorded, but thanks to Leah and her husband for saving the day, we are still doing answer some questions from the witchy friends. So if you have any questions, please let us know. If you want to add to the conversation, I will read your comment out loud. So here we go. I proved to you I did not wait till the last minute. I typed up something that took me 10 minutes.
Oh, baby.
Oh, see, I'm getting an A+.
You are.
Okay. Aside from seeing me on YouTube and TikTok, I'm sure you have seen this amazing creator right here. Amazing. I would like for I will tag her since y'all can't really hear her, but I will link all her stuff. But I would like to know, where did you get started on TikTok, and then how did you transition to Witch Talk?
Okay, that's a complicated question. I started on TikTok. I don't know. I kind of had like that millennial, like, oh, it's TikTok, it's for the youngins. And I worked at an adolescent recovery facility for kids that dealt with drugs and alcohol, and they were all on TikTok. So, I downloaded TikTok to see what it was about because I just wanted to see it. I needed to see what was happening, what they were doing, what the hell they were talking about. So that I'm not the old lady, that's like, oh, that newfangled TikTok. So I kind of just got on it, and I'm gonna say some things about witch talk that not a lot of people are probably gonna like. I've avoided witch talk for the most part.
Yeah.
I've only just started hashtagging witches and witch talk and like that kind of stuff because there's so much drama, and I feel like the message just gets lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
You know, it's not healthy for anybody. So
What makes me crazy is that I don't ever see the drama on TikTok, witch talk. I just see people talking about the drama. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
I don't see none of this shit.
Yes.
All that I see is
Oh
people
my
talking about their
God.
practice. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, this person apparently, one of the witchy friends filled me, and they're like,
Mhm.
these are people throwing hexes and curses like
Oh,
freaking
stop.
loaf of bread. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, dadgum, can we just chill for a damn second? The planet's on fire, literally. And y'all are
Right?
mad because someone put disrespect on your name.
Like, there's more important shit in the world. What are you doing?
Yes.
There's more important shit in the world. What are you doing? Stop. Calm
Apparently-
down. Get some help. The fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, someone putting disrespect on someone's name is worse than the ice capsules melting and polar bears potentially going extinct in a couple of years. But yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about, like, you know what I mean? Like, so much. That's why I'm surprised that you're not a bigger creator than what you are, because I love your videos, and I've seen it where people put out like straight up just spitting facts, just laying it out there. They don't get nothing compared to someone shaking their freaking butt. That's a size 2.
And I think that's a lot of the reason why I don't have the following that maybe I should have. But at this point in my life, what I actually am aiming for, I want people to follow me for me. I'm done pretending to be somebody else. Like,
girl, I did that for so. I was gonna ask you a question. This might be slightly off subject, but I was thinking.
Disclaimer up front, I don't do disclaimers. Trigger warning is blanket for this whole entire episode.
Yes, trigger warning.
I'm gonna try not to cry, but I cry a lot because I'm mostly a water sign. My chart is ruled by the moon. Leave me alone.
I have a Cancer moon.
Do you? I'm a Cancer
Yes.
rising.
Hell yeah.
I never did your chart, actually. We need to do that.
We do.
Yeah.
But I was thinking when I was in the shower, actually, before we started doing this, like, I got to thinking, if someone asks me, I can just give them an answer, but I don't know what my favorite color is. I don't know what my favorite food is. And that's trauma, mama. That is trauma.
That is trauma, baby. You need to figure that out.
And I realized that, and because my husband, until I met my husband, no one was ever like, what is your, what do you like stuff like that. So I'm like, and it was never like felt serious when people did ask. So when my husband asked, like, what do you want to eat? I'm like, I don't know what my favorite food is.
Mhm.
Or I'm like, well, what is your favorite color? I don't know. And now
whatever you want.
And now
good for you.
After we bought our house, oh my God, after we bought our house, Nick was like, what color do you want to paint the kitchen? And I'm like, the living room. And I was like, gray. The walls need to be light gray, because I was working in healthcare at the time, and all the patients I worked with, they was in the rich neighborhoods, and they always had gray walls. So I was like, oh, gray walls must be like a staple. And as soon as he finally caved in and said, fine, you can have the gray walls. As soon as that roller hit that wall, I hated it.
Yeah.
And now he said he's not repainting it just out of spite.
Well,
because now it's grown on him.
I mean, we live in an apartment. We live in a second floor. All the walls are gray, and I hate it. So, draperies, all my what the hell are they called? Curtains. All my curtains have colors on them. I don't care. It's fine. I love it. My house looks like Rainbow Bright, and I'm like, wait a second. I thought I was goth and I liked all black. Since when? I just wear black, but I love color.
You a Lisa Frank kind of girl.
I am. I love neon. I love sparkles. I love glitter. I love all of it. I want all the colors. I want to be covered in the rainbow at all times. I just wear all black in public. Same. You know?
I don't wear as much black as I would want to, because I don't have an issue now, because it's amazing the amount of shadow work it takes sometimes to break through something so small, like wearing black for a long time. I would not wear black because I was told that was demonic color.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm not going to wear black, but now it's like, okay, I'm adding black into my wardrobe and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Witchy friends that's coming in, just letting you know we're taking questions from TikTok live, because I'm not tech savvy, and I think everyone knew that. But it just amazes me sometimes the link, like I still have issues with that. And even though I've worked through the stuff like what is my favorite color, it's like that, I still can't come to a definitive answer. Not because I don't know, but now it's a different trauma, because it's like if I pick that this color is my favorite, another color might get sad. That's dark.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's dark.
I give everything a personality. Everything, yeah. And I don't know why.
I think that as kids, when we are traumatized, I have a very extensive trauma background, that assigning personalities to objects makes the world a little bit safer when the actual personalities that are attached to people in our lives are so damaging that to think of things like colors and, you know, this chair is a female and her name is whatever, you know what I mean? Like, yep. Assigning a persona to inanimate objects makes the world a little bit safer for kids that are in trauma situations.
Do you think that's because that's what I love about your videos is you approach witchcraft with a almost like metaphysical. This is what I love about you. You approach witchcraft almost like the metaphysical is second thought. It's the scientific, the psychology first. And that's the way my brain thinks. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of people want to say, well, no, you need to put energy first and then you can delve in. But I think that magical things and stuff like that are just science that people can't explain right now, because things that are now common science knowledge are things that weren't common science knowledge when witches were doing it hundreds and thousands of years ago. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I will be upfront, and a big reason why I'm not on Witch Talk a lot is because I am still very skeptical of the things that I talk about. I think it's healthy to have some skepticism and weigh out, you know, fantasy versus reality. I worship a lot of different deities. I work with a lot of different fae, spirit entities, things like that. Do I believe that they're 1,000% real? Absolutely not. I would say it's about 60-40, just because of coincidences that have happened throughout my life that I cannot fucking explain otherwise. Yeah. And I'm like, well.
But see, that's a very logical way. And that's the way that I approach witchcraft, is that the first thing if I hear a creak or something out of the normal, I'm thinking, okay, if I can hear it, that means it's loud enough. So it definitely happened. So I'm like, okay, what is it? It could be the cat, it could be the house settling. And once I can rule those out, then I'm like, okay, then I'll go to divination to see what it was or if it was something. But I just feel like too many people jump to. So do I feel like everything has energy? Yes, I do. A lot of people won't agree with that. I believe
1,000%.
Everything has energy, but that does not mean that that energy is constantly trying to be active with you. Mm-hmm. I personally think that just because you're inept to being able to psychically communicate and see spirits, I personally believe that there's energy. I believe energy can block itself from you because it does not want nothing to do with you.
Absolutely. Just like with closed practices.
Yes.
Exactly like with closed practices. You start messing with things that you're not supposed to mess with, like I did when I first started. Admittedly, I have done it and it fucked my life up a lot, probably. I don't do that anymore. I'm still attached to them because I messed with them, so I show them respect in the most utmost way that I can.
Yeah.
But not for me. Not for me. Not my business. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
I have been in the broom closet for about 6 years. And for about 6 years, and I just recently last year came out of the broom closet to my husband, and he was like, I was so afraid because we both come from very strong Christian households, and we still shared a lot of like strong religious stuff, especially before I went to college for biblical theology and stuff like that. And then learning what I learned there and changing my major, I just looked at it and said, I have renounced Christianity. I have denounced the Christian God. I am now going to be a secular pagan witch. And he is like, cool. I've been wanting to talk to you about becoming a practicing Druidism. And I'm like, cool. So it was it was very, very easy, short conversation. But there's a lot of things that I've had to go back now that I'm actively practicing, and I'm able to have a lot more being a practitioner who can be public or more out about their practice. I feel like it is a privilege. I feel like it's a privilege, and I feel like because you get open to more, you don't have to worry about if I become friends with someone who's a witch. If so-and-so finds out, they'll think I'm a witch. So when you're out and open, you have a little bit more resources. And now that I'm out and open, I'm like, I've had to go through my grimoire and, oh my God, delete pages. Delete pages. And I'm ashamed to admit that, but I'm not ashamed because I feel like one thing that gets highly overlooked in witchcraft and any spiritual practice is ego death. That is a big thing that gets overlooked. And when I shared that I got sick on Witch Talk several months. It's last year when I first started actively practicing, but I didn't go in detail what happened. It was the first spell I ever did active. And I tried to contact something that I had no business contacting. And I ended up in the hospital 3 days later with my kidney shutting down. And and they said that I had to, they had to inject me with IV to jumpstart my kidneys. And it took like almost a month to get better. And it was awful. And that's why I am so strong about my witch talk. Like, these may be my opinions, but if you like my practice, please listen, because it may pertain to you, because people don't realize you can get fucked up. You can get messed up real quick. Especially messing with close practices. Like, it's crazy. And 3 people are in the chat and the live, and as soon as I said close practices, they jumped out.
Well, I mean, it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to talk about it. It's a sore subject with a lot of people.
Okay, what's your question? What does rose quartz? Okay. You know a little bit more about crystals than I do.
Okay.
A witchy friend asked, why does rose quartz break?
Why does it break? Well, quartz in itself is a silicate, I believe, mineral. My husband's saying, yes, it is. It's a silicate. When you think of little...
wait a second. I don't think they can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wait a second. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Okay, go right ahead.
So rose quartz and quartz in and of itself, anything in the quartz family, is a silicate. The base mineral of the crystal is a silicate. And when you think of silicate, I want you to think of silica packets that come in purses, in shoes, and anything that you ship. That is silica. It absorbs water. That's its job. So if you're putting your crystals constantly in water, salt, anything that will mess up the water balance of the scientific breakdown of the crystal, it will break. Same thing with hematite rings. Don't buy those. It's a scam.
Were you able to hear her? Okay, wait one second. I'm gonna see if I can get a speaker to hook up so they can hear you better. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They literally just saw mine. I can't.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, let's see.
Connection successful.
Let's see if we can get this set up right without me messing it up again. Are we witchy friends?
At least if there's a mic for TikTok.
Okay, let's see. Talk and see if you're coming through.
Mm.
Can you hear me?
Mm.
Why is this working? Okay. That's not working. So. Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Speaker's not working. So I am not good at this at all.
Oh, we need to figure this out.
Okie dokie. Okay, so are you still there, witchy friends? Say sorry. Okay, so in layman's terms, after they can also listen to the podcast and hear the full explanation. But in layman's terms, why would a rose quartz break?
So the quartz in general has the base mineral of quartz is silicate. It's a substance that absorbs water. So
it's a very absorbent, like water. It retains water.
Right. So anything that'll mess with the water balance. So if you're cleansing your crystals in water, or I've seen a lot of people put them in salt baths, like it's not necessary. Salt baths will mess up the water balance, so it'll break.
Oh, okay. So it essentially I've noticed that with my I have a rose quartz a little bit light, and I've noticed that over time, I guess because the moisture in the air, it can soak it up. It's parts of it starting to chip off.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense with you friends. I'm so sorry.
I hope it does, honestly. Listen, my Mercury is in Pisces, and to me that means I talk in stories. Like I will talk around a subject until I get to the point. It's ridiculous. So
my husband tells me well, my husband never says this. I've been told my whole life I'll go around my ass to get to my elbow.
Yep. Yes.
I'm the mouth of the South.
Very much me.
Okay, so TikTok just kicked me out of live.
Why?
Someone might have reported my thing, and it happens every couple of weeks. Every time I do a live, that's why I don't do lives that much anymore. Because every single time someone comes in and they report it,
For what?
It was probably that troll that was in there a minute ago saying, when as soon as I said something about closed practices, I bet you that's what it was. Anytime I talk about racial issues or problems in the LGBT community or something like that, I instantly get striked. So,
well, you know, unfortunately, I think that's what's going to bring most of these companies down is the fact that they are silencing a lot of this stuff.
yeah.
You know,
So I believe that silence is, you're complacent. If you're silent about something, you're complacent about it and you have no problem with it. So therefore you are part of the problem.
Yep. My TikTok that I did regarding line 3 was shot. I only got 55 views on that video.
Oh, I have some, and I know you've had this issue where you'll have some where it gets 0 views, 0 likes, 0 anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand that.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm so self-absorbed that I think I should get more views. It's that literally the one video that I made about something racial or speaking up against people of color, color people, that video,
people don't like that. People don't
like
like that. And it is what it is. Honestly, that's why I don't do a lot of videos like that. But, you know, my heart goes out. I want to cry about it right now.
Yeah. I'll change something. I promise.
Terrible.
It is. What, on a slightly happier note, what got you started on your practice, on your journey?
Do we have time for that?
You can give me a synopsis.
I think when I was around, so a lot of it actually coincides with the timeline of my childhood trauma and like what went on there. Around 8, 9, 10, maybe like between 8 and 12, I'll say, I started looking for God, looking for something. My family is not a church family. We never went to church. We didn't do a lot of things. The only thing we did was Girl Scouts. So we weren't like well known in that regard. So I did Evangelical Baptist church. I did Catholic church. I did Protestant church. Whatever was in the area, I did.
Yeah.
And every single time, like first, second, very rarely did it get to the third visit that I would go to that church. Yeah. I would see nasty, evil people judging other people while they were doing just as nasty shit. Yeah. I can't be near that. No. I can't be near that.
One of the grossest things I saw, not the grossest, but one of the grossest things I've seen them do when I was growing up in church is that this girl started coming visiting to the church, right? Mm-hmm. Visiting. And my mom and dad's church has somewhat of a dress code. Mm-hmm. You have
Sunday
to wear
best.
Sunday best, or you have to wear jean skirts, past your, like to your ankles at least. And she came like for like a month, and she was such a sweet girl. But the preacher's wife approached her and said, "You've been coming here for a while. I see you still wear those same kind of clothes. How about I give you some clothes?" So they went and bought her some clothes, and then the preacher's wife got mad because she went to church the next Sunday and was not wearing those clothes. And she said, "I told y'all." She said, "I told y'all when y'all were buying it, that's not for me. That's not what makes me feel comfortable." And my God, she was wearing what you were wearing pretty much, except for I don't know what your bottom is, but she was wearing a like,
I'm just wearing jeans.
What do you call them? They go slightly below the knee. Like
capris. That's what I'm wearing. Jeans, capri jeans.
Like she's wearing capris and a black tee, not black. It was like a floral print. And there's like, if you're going to continue going here, you're going to need to start dressing like a woman of God. And she never came back.
Nope. Why would she? Why would she? You immediately judge that person based on what she was wearing. Are you out of your mind?
The thing is, it is all like one time I heard a preacher say that they bullied this one girl into a profession of faith. She was 7 years old, and the preacher stood up in the pulpit and said, see, if a 7-year-old can get saved, a 7-year-old could burn in hell or rot in hell. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's evil. Sorry, that's evil.
That's evil.
That's evil.
Just like at my papa's funeral, a preacher stood up there. My papa was not a church person. He never went to church because he couldn't stand them. Yeah. And on his death, he fucking, at the funeral, my mom and dad's preacher, who had only met my papa one time, or he may not have met my papa. No, at my brother's graduation he did. But anyway, I get lost in details.
So do I.
But it was an August day at 3:45 p.m. and the temperature was 86.
I know.
No, 87. But he stood in the pulpit and said, see, William Everett Holt, I'm not going to say his whole name. William Everett is laying here burning in hell. And you could prevent that. Don't be like him. Come to Jesus. And they literally had an altar call. Oh my gosh. But the scariest funeral I ever been to was a masonry. It was a Masonic funeral.
Yep.
That was crazy because you got to think all the people there did not know that the church member's father was a Freemason, and next thing you know, you see all these church Southern Independent Fundamentalist Baptists sitting there, and these men in black cloaks come down. And looking back, I was like, I felt nervous, but I'm sure most people there were very comfortable with white men in cloaks. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yep. But it's awful what I have seen people do to women, to children, to all across the board through 24 years of being a devout Christian. It's awful.
I'm going to share with you a story of a time that I took a client of mine that was developmentally and cognitively delayed to a Baptist church. And they told this young man, he was 22 years old. They told this young man that he was going to hell because he wasn't saved. That poor man was tortured in his mind because he had no way of discerning like if it was real or not.
My cousin Casey, when she professed her faith of Christianity, whatever, when she was like 8 years old, she was tormented day and night. She couldn't sleep, she couldn't eat. All she could do was cry because she felt like everything she did was a sin that was going to send her to hell.
No, that's awful.
And these people are tax exempt?
That's awful. That is fucking awful.
Is this podcast just going to be us getting each other upset? Fuck these issues.
Who can make who cry first?
Exactly. Neither one of us, we both win because we both cried at the same time. Your husband comes in and says, honestly, your husband's just going to come in and be like, I thought that y'all were talking about witchcraft. Why are y'all both crying?
Why are you crying and talking about your childhood trauma at 12 years old? What is wrong with you?
This turned into shadow work.
This turned into a trauma bonding session.
Exactly. The podcast is all over.
I'm all right with it. Honestly, that's what I do for like not even a living. I just randomly in the store, grocery store, people will just tell me everything. And I'm like,
my husband gets aggravated because we went 4 hours away to the beach and I ran into a person I knew. Yeah. Yep. And they weren't even from that spot. They were not even from the beach. They were my patient's mom. Yeah. And then my dad's the same way. He went to Washington, D.C. and found two people that he knew.
See, that's what I consider witchcraft. That is some witchcraft shit.
Or when I see a witchy in the wild, I love that.
Yep. Be like, ooh, girl, your lipstick, your hat, those shoes. What is going on? I like this. What is all of this?
Kind of like that TikTok. It goes, are you with them, they? Yeah. Are you with them, they?
Yeah.
I love it. I love seeing witches in the wild. And it's the thing is that most people wouldn't notice to look for these things to know that someone's witchy. But this girl at Petco had her shirt like buttoned down to here. And it was a slow hanging, like mine hangs low, but hers was hanging here. And it was of a crescent moon. And I was like, I like your amulet. She's like,
thank you.
I said, yeah. She's like, are you? I was like, yeah.
Yes,
it was so fun. It was at Petco, and it's only because I noticed her necklace that was right here. So I'm like, how many people have looked at that necklace in the past 8 hours of this woman's shift and not even noticed that? I love that. Right. But I would like to have your opinion on something else. What is your opinion? I stated a couple of days ago on YouTube and TikTok about my personal opinion. I love that more people are coming to the craft. And people are like, well, what about the ones that are just there for the aesthetics? That's not my, if they are there for the aesthetics, which that's not my place to judge. Right. But they'll fall off when it's no longer trendy.
Absolutely.
So I don't even worry about that. But my issue with people coming to the craft is I'm scared that they're getting all their information from popular TikTokers who are literally putting shit out like how to summon a fairy. And I am terrified. What happens when witchcraft?
I did a duet of that video.
And people what are those creators going to do when their favorite big TikTok witch talk creator is no longer trendy, so they're now doing acupuncture or something.
Yeah.
What they're going to have an identity crisis because they were in it for real and they were told all this bullshit.
Yep.
I'm terrified.
I honestly, I'm not. And the thing is that's part of their path.
Yeah.
All of it. The identity crisis, I found this out and now I'm doing something else. I'm only chasing this, and this. They'll figure it out eventually. That's why I made a TikTok. I'm very much of the school, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Fuck around, be my guest. I'm gonna warn you if I notice some shit, but if you don't follow that advice, like, that's on you, babe. I love you. Sorry.
Exactly. It's just like I had a conversation with Mrs.M a couple of days ago, and I was telling her about some issues I was having with what I now know is astral projecting. I've never done it before, and I did not mean to do it. And I witnessed something that I should not have witnessed. And I reached out to her. I said, what should I do? Should I tell this person? I was like, because what if it's wrong? I don't want to seem crazy. And she's like, do what you feel need to. But then she's like, start sleeping with your amulet. And as soon as I started sleeping with my amulet, it stopped. But now I don't really remember my dreams, but I prefer that over what I saw. And then I finally reached out to the person that was involved in this. And I said, I know I sound completely crazy. And luckily it was a family member, but it's a family member by marriage. So it's a cousin. So I did not know any of this. And I was like, hey, so your grandma who died in that house, I did not know she died in that house. I was like, I feel like your grandma died in that house. There's issues going on. And I said, the proofs that I saw in my vision was of the most disgusting, vile thing. And I could tell you later, but I cannot say it on here. But she's like, she said, let me go talk to my mom. Because she said, I don't know about that. And her mom came back to the phone and said, how did you know that? No one's supposed to know that. And I'm like, I don't know. I saw it. And that's what terrified me, because I told Mrs.M, I was like, I don't want to see these things. And so ever since I started sleeping with the amulet, like she said, I don't remember my dreams, but I'm also staying in my body because I share the same belief as her. Maybe you share a different belief, but I believe, and she both believes, that when you astral project, your soul is actually leaving your body. What's your take?
In a sense. So my take on it is a lot of the reason why I believe psychology and, witchcraft / magic / spiritual, whatever, spirituality as a whole, like why they align so very closely together. It's a lot of what happens during hypnosis, except you're very cognitive of it. you remember it. I used to think I was crazy when I first started doing it, and I had no idea. I didn't have anybody in my life to teach me what that meant and what being psychic meant and the responsibilities
That in
that come
itself,
along with it.
that in itself can cause trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when people stop believing you. They think you're a liar.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And then
Like people want to call you a liar until what you've told them starts happening to them.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, but I thought I was crazy.
Yep. And then they're like,
Just because,
stay away from her. She's a curse.
Yeah. Curse. She's doing black magic.
Yep.
My mother-in-law's convinced that me and my husband are doing devil worshiping magic on her against her. And my husband,
Hail Satan, baby. Hail Satan.
My husband had the perfect response. He says, how can I worship something I do not believe in? We would not waste our energy.
Yeah.
And it's like, who are you to think that you're worth my energy? You know how much shit that takes?
Yeah.
You ain't worth
the
it,
audacity, first of all.
The caucasity.
The caucasity of audacity, honestly, first of all.
Facts. But I love that.
I think the other part of I want to get back to the astral projection before I lose it in my fucking medicated brain.
Same.
Astral projection for me is much like comparing your dream to a ship. Astral projection is you taking and learning how to drive the ship. So, is it your soul leaving your body? Maybe. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's your brain, because we are all God. We are all source. We are all the universe. All of us are the universe.
Yes.
I think it's just us tapping into that first spark, honestly. I think it's us tapping into that first, like, oh, okay, now we can see all the shit that's going on that we're all very closely connected to. The more you practice it, the further your reach goes and how much you can see.
Exactly.
So the more you practice, you said you were afraid of astral projection now. Yeah. Probably, maybe you should be, but also practice.
From what and correct, like I said, you've been doing this a lot longer. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, or just throw in your opinion. I have read some research, and that's why I don't talk about certain things on Witch Talk that people have asked me to. I will not talk about certain taboo versions of divination, because people's going to have an opinion when they're not educated enough to have that opinion. And so there's certain topics I just will refuse to talk about on Witch Talk or TikTok in general. But when it comes to looking into information about astral projecting, I've come across some people saying that if you are just trying it out, if it's the nighttime that scares you, because I am almost 28 and I'm still scared of the dark. But my thing is, I'm not scared of the dark because of metaphysical, supernatural things. I'm scared of the physical. A spider, a snake, a person.
Yes.
But the night does scare me. So I've read some research where if you are going to practice it, first of all, learn your protections, and then do like a day session where it's like 15 minutes on an alarm clock where you take a nap and you try it that way. Is that dipping your toes the right way, or could it be harmful?
I would say start with meditation.
Okay.
You can do it while you're meditating. You don't even have to be asleep. I would say save the asleep stuff for when you're very sure, like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. You know what I mean? Like, I have it in my mind, like when I sleep, I do it pretty much every single night, whether I want to or not. At this point, I'm kind of very consensual with it, because I do know like where I am, what I'm going to see, who I'm with. Like I know my surroundings when I'm on the astral.
Yes.
So I would say for now, while you're meditating, if you, I don't know, if you worship any guides, any past ancestors, loved ones, any angels, any whatever, deities, I don't know.
Yeah.
Meditate with that guide. Say, I think I'm ready. I want to start astral projecting. I want to see what's on the other side. And counsel with them for a while until you both feel comfortable with it.
Yes.
You know,
one thing I would like to get your opinion on also is that this is one thing I've been unable to find a direct answer to. This is something I've been doing for a couple of months, and maybe I can see now why maybe this has been leading up to that horrific vision within the astral plane. But I want to know, is astral projecting and trance work the same thing? Because I do trance work when I meditate. I imagine a hallway.
I would say so.
I could see it in my mind, even without closing my eyes. I could see this hallway in my mind's eye. It's very gothic, very much my style. And there's a red door at the end, and there's several doors along the hallway. Each door has some type of feeling when I walk past it. And there's one door that I feel navigated towards like that magnetic pull, but something within me is telling me, do not go near that door. And there's another door that is a red door, and I'm terrified of the color red, and I don't know why. But I have gone through that door being under hypnosis one time by a friend who's been doing hypnosis for years. And it was horrible, and she almost couldn't wake me up. She literally had to shake me because she was unable to wake me up by just leading me. It was almost when I was under, I feel like I closed my eyes and she was fucking shaking me. And I was like,
yeah,
what? I was like, when are we going to start? She's like, Stephanie, you've been under for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And she recorded me. I was saying shit I didn't even know was in my mind. And that led to a lot of shit, depression and stuff. But is that room that I'm talking about, is that the same thing as astral projecting, or is trance work different?
Honestly, I think it goes hand in hand. Astral projection itself, kind of, you can go a little bit deeper. To me, this is kind of like dream interpretation. So if somebody were to tell me they had a dream with a door of a color that they did not like, first of all, why don't you like that color? Second of all, what's behind the door? What's behind the door? Do you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a memory you repressed. Ew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ooh, what's behind there? Is red anger?
Yeah.
Is red love? But is it like angry, toxic love? You know what I mean? Like, it's very interpretive. So usually when there's a house in a dream, it's your mind, it's your head.
Okay.
So if there's a hallway or like a wing of the house that you don't want to go down, you're like, nope, not doing it, not going there. Like, fuck you. We're putting wards. What's on that? What's there?
You know what's weird?
That?
You know what the house itself, you know what the house looks exactly like? The house from Rose Red, Stephen King.
Oh, I love that house.
With the dark wooden hallways, like that is what the hallway is to me. And the weird thing is there's one door that is nothing but pure like green whitish light, and it has like stained glass on it, and that I have walked through, and that is literally every moment I can remember of me and my husband together. And it's amazing with our pets that have passed away and stuff like that. And that part is fine, but that's exactly what the house looks like. It's an exact replica of the house from Rose Red. And like, why the fuck is that the house? First, which I think
it's a beautiful house. It's beautiful.
But I think I think it's a great metaphor. The house in Rose Red. I think it's a great metaphor for your trauma, because trauma makes you think there's just one wall keeping you from realizing what's going on. No, there's multiple. The house keeps changing. And I think maybe that's why I think that, because it looks like that, because it's ever changing. The doors are not, the only door that's ever the same is the door of me and Nick, and all the other doors change. The position changes. Sometimes it's not a door, sometimes it's a trap, like you have to walk down. It's just ridiculously crazy how complex our minds are.
Yes, it is. So my path kind of coincides with my career, and I have done counseling for at-risk populations, people who are homeless, people who have severe psychiatric, physical, mental conditions, people that are addicts and alcoholics, people that, you know, whatever, all of it. I've done that my whole life. And it kind of coincides with, like,
you're a fixer.
I am. I fucking am. Dude, I fucking am. Listen. I'm a trauma therapist, except for I'm not licensed. I'm not a therapist. But this I see, and I put shit together, and I'm like, oh my God. Hello. Yeah. But in every single job I've had, I'm like, are we gonna like help these people with trauma, or like what's good? Are we just gonna let it go?
One day on a trance. One day when I was like doing trance work with meditation, which is the only way I found to be able to meditate, because if I don't, I cannot sit still. So I focus on trance work, and I don't know why I came up with this idea. Well, not I didn't. Something told me that, at least for me, my like my trauma, like my mental illnesses and stuff like that could be PTSD from past lives. Right. And I was like, that's a cool way to look at it. That does not dismiss or disingenuate or disinvalidate. But I believe that there are traumas that you can inherit from a family, from DNA, from like your soul family, if you believe in that, or whatever you want to call it. I believe you could pass on trauma.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a lot of like the ancestral trauma, ancestral work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. Like, my parents were abusive and neglectful to me. Their parents were abusive and neglectful to them. Does it excuse what they did? No. But should you maybe like fucking apologize to me? Like, yeah, probably. And stop saying mean shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think that's the role that I've always found myself. And the preface is, I'm not saying, I don't think people are broken so I need to fix them. I'm correct. Like, let me nurture you. Let me help you. Yes. Let me love you. No one else has loved you. Let me love you. And I think that's why I was somewhat content being a CNA for 8 years, is because I was there. And what got to me was, it was people dying all the time, but I have seen so many people, I've held their hand as they were dying, taking their last fucking breath, while their freaking family members are fighting over dishes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse me, your mother's not even dead yet, and you're fighting over freaking flatware.
Yep. My favorite patient was 114 years old, and she was fucking loaded. She had antique furniture from France. And her family were too busy fighting over her inheritance to come visit her as she was dying. That was fun for me. That was real fucking fun.
And it's so sad. It's like, literally, you have provided for your whole family your whole life.
Yeah.
And yet they're so concerned with a few dollars that you're going to leave them.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've broken all ties with my family. I've already said, when you die, I don't need to be notified, and I do not want to be left anything, because I will not accept anything, because I believe things come with a contract. Yep. Like, I was feeling the worst energy in my house for the longest time. And no matter how much I cleansed, no matter how much I cleaned physically, I could not get rid of it. And then I realized I still have the candle holders that my mother gave me.
Yeah.
And as soon as I
the dumpster is
those,
a wonderful spell.
Exactly. As soon as I got rid of them, it's like the whole energy of my house changed.
Yeah. It happens that way with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm 35 years old. I just recently, maybe 2 to 3 months ago, set boundaries with my mother for the first time ever. Fucking ever. Shit hit the fan. I feel very lonely. I feel like I have no fucking family now.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things is I realized, like, I started questioning myself, like, am I crazy or was I just abused my entire life? And when you start asking yourself questions like that, it's like, well, what the hell? Well, maybe that's why I can't accept gifts, because they always come with a fucking price.
I cannot accept gifts. They make me feel so anxious.
Hate it. Hate it. I fucking hate it. I love giving them. I don't care.
Or you know what? You want to know something I did for years? I used to keep random gifts wrapped in my trunk. So if someone gave me something, oh my God, I've been meaning to give you something.
Yep.
So many people have gotten those sparkly pillows that have the sequins.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's like, I don't want you to feel like I owe you something.
Yeah.
Because gifts always came with a contractual like stipulations.
Yes.
Like, I'll buy you this, but you can't bring that up again.
Yeah, my mother apologized to us with gifts our whole childhood.
Yes.
And it was like, what?
And then they have the fucking audacity to then say that you're spoiled.
Yep. Or say that you have money problems.
Yeah.
I used to go into debt. I used to overdraft my account by so fucking much. It would take me until probably April or May to catch up. Just for Christmas, because I felt obligated. I don't do that anymore.
For Christmas 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, me and my husband went, and he was against the whole time. But I was like, Nick, I have to go. You don't understand. We went out and we bought flat screen TVs for my mom and dad and for my brother and sister-in-law.
Nope. Yeah. Why?
One of them, I think my brother gave his TV away because it wasn't the size he wanted.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
I'm grateful as fuck. Why?
And then you feel bad.
Then you feel bad.
Like I used to make Witchy care packs for people, and I would send it to them at no charge whatsoever.
Yep.
And then like it was literally like hundreds of dollars sometimes worth of extra, because I was like, I have extra. I don't like having extra. Let me give someone else stuff. And one girl, I said, did you get it? She's like, yeah, I got it. Did you want something else for it? And then
what?
And I gave one to my friend. And she rubbed me the wrong way because she was asking me questions about the craft and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, how about I send you a Witchy care package? She's like, oh, that'd be amazing. And this had 2 of every color candle. This had 2 of every stone I had. This had 2 of every incense I had. Everything. And I sent it to her and I was like, hey, so I sent it out. She said, cool, thanks. By the way, I'm in town, so I won't get it till I get back home. And I'm like, I said, you knew I was sending you something. You could have just dropped by my house. She's like, yeah, well, and then she went back home 2 weeks later, and she took a picture of the box that she had slung open on her passenger seat, took a picture. He said, oh, I got it, thanks. And it's like,
okay, rude.
I wasn't expecting like, oh my God, you've changed my life, but maybe respect the items that I give you, because these things are very sacred to me, and you're just going to empty the box out on top of your empty cigarette packs.
Right.
So there's only been one other person I've sent to, and they were so fucking sweet and so blown away. it was a good experience, but that one good experience does not negate the other two. And I do not want to feel like I'm using people, and I do not want to feel used.
Yeah. And that's a lot of humanity as a whole, is using other people for what they're worth and throwing them away when they're no longer worth that.
Yeah. That's why almost everything in our house is from a thrift store or a secondhand store. And it's not because we can't all, like, there's some things we have brand new, like we have a brand new TV and stuff like that, but we don't buy stuff first-handed most of the time, like furniture and stuff, because just because something's old doesn't mean it doesn't have value.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just longer for energy.
A staple gun and a little fabric goes a long way. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
So like,
honestly, I wish we
like
would The Walking Dead this whole fucking thing and just like go back to apocalypse. Like, I'll be okay.
Like 2 years ago, we were worried about clowns, and now we're worried about...
Stop. Yep.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
what is something that you don't see, or what is something you don't see on Witch Talk or TikTok that you wish you would see more of, or something that you feel like people talk about but they really shouldn't talk about because there's not enough time to explain the topic?
That's a loaded question. Jesus. Something I don't see: real everyday witchcraft. Yep. My witchcraft consists of cleaning and warding my house. Honestly, I very rarely do actual like spell work and rituals. Very rarely. Sometimes I do if they're needed, and mostly I do them for other people, for healing, for protection, for whatever. Something I wish I would see less of: disclaimers. I want to see less disclaimers. I want to see less people saying, you should research this, but this is my... Stop. Yeah. If you're in witchcraft, fucking research everything that everybody tells you.
Exactly. I say that all the time. I don't care if it comes out of my mouth. Look it up. I don't care if it comes out of my mouth, your mouth, whoever's mouth. Take it as a jump off place.
Yep. So my role in life, through my soul contract, whatever you want to call it, is to teach people this shit. And the thing is like, if I'm going to teach you and I tell you to look something up, you better fucking look it up. Don't ever ask me again if you don't look it up. Don't ask me. Honestly, if you want clarification, absolutely, let's do it. If you need me to re-explain it because you didn't understand something that you read, let's do it. I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through it 100% of the time. I will hold your hand the whole way there. But if you're interested in tarot and you don't open the book one fucking time, that is not my problem. You're not that interested. So why are we still talking about it?
Yeah. One thing that I do not see enough of on Witch Talk is people want to talk like, I can't remember what the creator's name was, but they were messaging me back and forth, and they were saying that, Witch Talk will teach you how to open a portal, but won't teach you how to shut a door. Like they'll do like, go. Half of Witch Talk is like, go mess with a Ouija board and have fun. The other part's like, you'll die of like a slow, painful death. Like your body will get instant necrosis and you'll just die of a sepsis infection.
Oh my God. Yep.
So it's like, there are certain topics I feel like that should be not talked about on Witch Talk, or it's like, hey, if you want to know about this, go see it my YouTube or something, because there is too many people, and not everyone's going to go watch a 12-part series on safety behind a Ouija board. So maybe not bring it up, or maybe if you want to do a YouTube video and describe it all in one video.
Safety behind a Ouija board is the same thing as safety behind tarot cards, and the same thing behind they're tools. A Ouija board is a tool. Tarot deck is a tool.
You're
Yes.
open to portal regardless.
Yes. They're all
Just
the
like-
fucking same. They're
just like
all the fucking same.
One thing I hate seeing is that if you don't want to do love magic, that's fine.
Mhm.
Just say that, but don't say that you don't want to do it because it takes away people's free will. Everything in witchcraft takes away someone's free will. If you're manifesting money, that means that money went to you instead of someone else. If
Correct.
you are trying to manifest a better day, that means that someone else did not have, like, even protection. I am throwing up my protections. That means that's taking away someone's free will to harm me. Free will is not good or bad. Free will is the gray area.
Free will
So,
is free will. It is what it is. It is
quit
chaos.
saying exactly. It's chaos. Quit saying that you don't want to do love magic, because if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But if you don't want to do it because it takes away someone's free will, then you really need to reevaluate what witchcraft is and the alternative energies.
So I'm going to tell you a little story.
Awesome.
About how my life got turned upside down. No, I'm kidding.
I'd like to take a minute and sit right there and say how became friends of the town felt there.
So I started in witchcraft. Technically, my sister had a friend in middle school. So we were in middle school. We were young, like 10, 12, that age.
Yeah.
And her and her mother were very into witchcraft, paganism, Wicca, like all of it. So when I started with love spells, hexes, curses, Ouija boards at midnight in the graveyard down the street, full out. I was messing with fucking everything. If I could touch it with my little fingers, I would. I did it. I did fucking all of it. Okay, I started with deities. I started with Aphrodite and Hecate, and I started fucking with the Fae, and I started with fucking with draconian magic and demons and like all of it. Fucking all of it. Okay. When I say I've done all of it, I have done all of it.
The jack of all trades.
All of it. I am not kidding with you. Okay.
But that brings up a good point. One thing that I love is that you do know and you do have information about the Fae and stuff like that. So I would love for you to talk about some misconceptions and some things that you have seen to be true within your own practice of the Fae.
The Fae. Oh, I love the Fae.
Oh, that's a very controversial
I love them.
Topic.
They are so near and dear to my heart. So I started fucking with the Fae. So the Fae, right? Anything that I consider to be elemental or of like folklore origin. That's what I feel like it's important to like redefine some of these words, because people are like, the Fae, oh my God. Anything that's elemental. Okay, anything that's elemental. All Fae are elemental. They are pure little sparks of energy in the world. That's what they are. To me, anyways. I'll preface that. To me, that's what they are. So I've been working with them for a long time. I started with fire, water, or air, earth, and spirit. Those are all Fae. Those are elementals. So in order to know your shit, you got to work with elementals. Like, hello.
See, that's something that literally blew my mind a second ago, because I've never heard it explained for that part, because a big part of my craft is working with elementals.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they're Fae.
Earth, air, fire,
Fae.
water, spirit, northeast, west, the cardinal directions. That's actually a big basis of my practice. And I've never been able to find, I just call them spirits, because anytime I call them anything else, I don't know what to call them. And then I've never heard
the Fae.
I've never heard anyone describe it that way, and that makes a lot of sense. And anytime anyone talked about the Fae badly, I never knew why. I'm like, why would you say that? So but I never knew why. When someone would be, I'm like that ride or die friend. Like, I did not know any of this, but anytime I saw videos saying, oh, the Fae are horrible, they're awful, and I automatically would feel like jealous or mad inside for some odd reason, but it
Mhm.
makes fucking sense.
Yeah. So elementals are like base, they're base creatures. So when you think of like, for example, fire out of control is destructive and rageful, but in control, it's passion, it's love, it's inspiration. You know what I
A
mean?
double-sided coin.
Right. Everything has a side. Everything is a double side. There's duality in everything.
Everything
They're
has a shadow.
right. They're very wide concepts.
Yes.
So when you feel the energy of fire, you're working with that elemental. To me, those are fae.
Yeah.
If they start showing, like, we're gonna have a bonfire tonight. Happy new moon in Leo, everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sidereal Cancer, if we're being honest.
Yeah. See, I'm a Capricorn sun. I am a Pisces. I'm sorry. I am a Capricorn sun. I am a Cancer moon, and I'm a Sagittarius rising. My husband is a Pisces
Oh my God. So
and a Cancer moon. My husband is a Pisces, Cancer moon, and I want to say Virgo rising. I'm not 100% sure.
oh, okay. Crybaby with a little controlling streak.
Did you say my husband? Nah.
No.
But see, that's one thing. People think controlling's a bad thing. I need controlling a little bit because I am a toddler.
Same.
I'm a toddler.
My
I'm
husband
a 20.
is mine too.
He is my parental. He is my person at the bottom of the list that I need to call if you find me lost in a Walmart parking lot.
Yes. He's the one that's written the name, the number that's on my tag in machine. Honestly. No, Mark's the same way. So our charts are very interesting. So I've been getting a lot into astrology too.
My husband too. It's overwhelming for me.
He's a Pisces sun, a Sagittarius moon, and a Capricorn rising.
He's got two of my signs.
Yeah. That's probably why we get along very well.
He's the straight version of me.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm an Aries sun, Aries moon, Cancer rising. Listen, I am like Tafiti without her heart when I am enraged.
You are emotion, but without empathy.
Fucking crybaby. I have the most empathy. I feel other people's shit. I feel other people make mistakes as they make them, and I'm like, no, stop, don't do that.
That's a good point. I've made TikToks about that before, about how I feel people's energy, but see, I am driven by emotion. So I have a bad judge of character sometimes, because the first thing I notice of someone, so it's, I don't want to say aura, but it's like something surrounding them that I can see and I could feel, but it's the first thing I see and feel is their trauma. So they could be hiding. Welcome, they could be baby. Hiding.
Come to my club.
They could be hiding a million different malicious intents behind that towards me. I had never see it coming because I am too focused on people's trauma. But my trauma, I'm gonna look the other way. Yep. I'll drop a piece of paper in a week and then cry about my trauma then for some odd reason.
Isn't that fucking interesting? Like, take your own goddamn advice sometimes. I am so bad at it. I am so fucking bad at it, honestly. I'm trying to get better at it.
Well, you know what they say, those who can't teach. So I'd rather teach about not being an emotional. I'll teach about not being an emotional person, have some incense, but I won't take my own advice.
I think my thing at this point in my path, I'm discovering that my power lies within my emotion and the ability to control it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying like heck to fucking get there, man. It's working. It's getting there. The things that I do a lot of different things. I do a lot of different therapies, self-help, self-care, the list fucking goes on, right? Of things
Tap-
to do to make ourselves feel better. I do all of them.
Tapping into my own, like trying to home in on skills and stuff like that. And like,
Yeah.
yes, it's actually caused a somewhat different type of trauma, because it's like, why can I see these things before they happen and not be able to know when and be able to change it?
Have you gone through the who the fuck am I? Who do I even know who the fuck I am right now?
Yeah.
Part? Have you been through that?
Yeah, I'm going to right now.
Okay, good. Me too.
But it's like, what's the point of me knowing these things? Why is my dead a person that I knew somewhat vaguely? I did consider him a friend because he was always friendly to me and not very many people were. So I consider those people friends. If you're nice to me once, you're my friend.
Yeah.
And why did he come to me 8 or 9 years later after his death and show me his grave? And then I eventually went to his grave, and that's exactly where his grave was. Like, what's the purpose of that?
I don't know.
Like, what's the purpose of seeing things and not being able to fix them or change them? And that's the purpose I'm right now, because that makes me more sad.
That's our job here on Earth, though, is to fucking figure that out.
Yeah.
And we all do it in a different way. We all have a different role to play. And I think that a lot of the competition that, wow, okay. So I have my cards out, by the way. I'm just pulling. So I got the Empress, the 3 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, and the 4 of Wands so far. So we like that. We like all of that.
We like that.
I think the thing to realize, where the fuck, what were we even talking about? Oh my God.
The podcast. We were talking about oh God.
I need to stop smoking so damn much sometimes.
If I didn't, I'd cry all the time.
Okay, I got it. The competition that's going on, the witch talk, the hexing each other, this one's doing this one's doing that, blah, 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 blah. Like, we're missing the fucking point.
Yeah.
We're missing the goddamn point. It's somebody's role to do something. Why are you so concerned about what somebody else is doing? If they're fucking up, let them fuck up. Let them fuck up. Stop.
Yeah.
This Wesley loves Jesus person, let her be fucking crazy. Leave her alone. I'm sick of seeing her, aren't you?
See, I haven't even heard about that. Who's that?
It's this Christian lady that's on TikTok and makes these witchcraft is evil and Hecate is. Stop.
God, I am so sick of her. I blocked her.
Yeah, I blocked her too. People duet and stitch her all the time, and I'm like, let dead dogs rest.
Yeah.
Let them just fucking lie there and rot away. Let them rest.
Yes.
The same thing with the beauty community and all these people on YouTube, controversial, blah, 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 beauty community, stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like
damn, I came to you because I want to know how to put on my foundation.
Yes.
And now you're out here doing tax evasion or messing with underage people. Like, what the
heck? Why are you doing that? Just do your shit. Put your nose to the grindstone, mind your fucking business, and do your shit.
And I think that is the problem with giving a 17-year-old a platform of millions of people and then growing it to like 25 million people and then giving them millions of dollars at the age of 17 to 21.
Yep. I think family channels as a whole should be shut down.
Oh, I hate it. It's exploitation.
They should be shut down. They are exploiting their children. This is why Britney Spears is in the position that she's in. She's been exploited to fucking death.
Oh, and we stand Free Britney.
We absolutely stand Free Britney. God damn, if I could fly there now and break down her fucking door, I would.
Oh, it's pissing me off more because Jamie Lynn Spears made a video on TikTok saying how she always just wanted what was best for her sister. How
shut the hell up.
oh,
Shut
how
up,
she
bitch. Shut
she
up.
said I have no voice in this. No matter what happens. But she went in court and said that her sister was mentally sick and needed psychiatric hold.
Listen. I was watching a video. I was watching a couple videos about this today, actually. She was staying at a condo that, quote unquote, by her sleeps 10 people. Excuse me, that's like at least a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Brittany owns her company, or Brittany, I don't know who, I forget. I'm a little fuzzy, admittedly. I don't know who owns it, but Brittany or her company or whoever owns this property, and Jamie Lynn was staying in it and bragging about it on Instagram like it was her fucking house.
Exactly. See, what bothered me was I've always been a Britney fan. I remember Britney when she first came on the scene.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
She was transcendent. She was transcendent, mama.
We are not worthy.
We are not worthy.
I love her.
But what really scared me is that she is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But she made a TikTok, answered a question. They said, "What's your dream car?" She said, "I've always wanted to own a Range Rover." You are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and you've never been able to get a car that costs 1% of your net worth. Like, really? Like, that's how you know she's that under control. She can't even drive.
I saw videos of her team, her father and manager included, talking about her and her tour without her, or show. I'm not sure which one it was. Talking without her, asking them about dates that she would be comfortable with. Her birthday was mentioned, and somebody said, "Are you sure she wants to work on her birthday?" And they both said, "Yeah, that's fine." Fucking excuse me, give the bitch a day off.
Do you know what's scary is that when she went to court,
the fuck?
She said when she went to court, she did not even know that Free Britney was a movement. She for 12 years, she thought that no one cared because she wasn't able to have access to her own social medias or anything like that. So she had never heard of Free Britney.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's
unbelievable. Crazy. This is our 90s. This is the princess of the 90s. She is our, excuse me, Princess Diana is the prince. She's the pop princess of the 90s. Christina Aguilera, we love you, but Britney is the princess.
Yes.
Sorry.
We do not stand Justin Timberlake for painting a narrative of her being a whore.
Fuck that motherfucker. First of all. Fuck that motherfucker. Honestly. I can't.
I love the topics that we're covering. Witchcraft, Britney Spears, we're all over the place.
All of it. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. These are the conversations I want to have. Let's just talk about fucking everything.
How much? That's pretty much what my podcast is going to be. I try to have it structured, and we have answered these questions, but I told her in the email, said they're not going to be in order.
No, ever. And that's fine, and that's absolutely fine. I'm down.
For people out there who are new to the craft, I don't like the term baby witch because I feel like it presents a term of hierarchy when there is not. You're a witch from the beginning. It's just the matter of experience you have behind you and the knowledge that you put behind your intuition. But I gotta look at the question again. I forgot it. But they think that they have to set in one specific space in their craft for the rest of their craft. So what, and layman's terms, like how much has your craft grown or changed since you began? Because a lot of people feel like they have to decide on one thing for the rest of their life.
I like this question a lot. I've been practicing for, I can stop, I'll say over 20 years to be safe, but probably awesome. 20, 22 years.
Awesome.
It has changed from the day I started to today. It has changed from yesterday to today.
Exactly.
I realized some shit that I didn't realize yesterday, today. It's gonna change.
Yeah.
Paths, especially ours, are very windy and rocky and have lots of roots in them.
Yeah.
Lots of bumps along the way. It is what it is. I've learned about everything. I've dabbled in closed practices that I should not have fucking dabbled in ever.
Yeah.
I've done low magic and high magic, and that kind of has to do with like your vibrational level.
Yeah.
It's I try to stay at high magic at all times. Sometimes I'm not in a high vibrational level, so I don't touch anything. I don't touch tarot cards. I don't fuck with nothing until I feel better.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people, I feel guilty sometimes of thinking, well, I should still do my divination, stuff like that, even though I feel like I literally have no energy. And no, it is okay to not do something. I have gone a month without touching my tarot cards, and I'm sure that's a short amount of time compared to other people who's been doing it a lot longer than me.
I've been studying tarot for as long as I've been practicing. It's one of the first things that I picked up was tarot. So I have a lot of experience with tarot, and even I put it down for a few years in between. I didn't touch anything. I picked it up again a few years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago. I picked it up again, and it came back to me all at once.
Yeah.
You don't have to. A lot of people say when you're learning tarot, touch your cards every day. Pull a card a day. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Also, I would be very interested in learning how you learn tarot compared to how I learned tarot. I am someone who I need mystery, and I need I like new things. So I learned my tarot deck by when I first got my tarot. I was reading a book online of how to do tarot and stuff like that. And every time a card would come up, I would look it up and see what that card is in that reading. And then every time, and then even now, yesterday, there was a card I've never gotten the whole time I've been doing tarot, and that's the star card. And I was so excited when I got the star card, even though I knew what it meant by now, but it's like, it adds a little bit more spark to your craft, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
how did you learn?
So when I started, my very first deck was an original Rider-Waite. I no longer have it, and I'm kicking myself in the dick for it.
I still have my first one.
Oh, I wish I had my first deck.
People like that is so basic, but I love the original art on it.
Yeah, I think
I'm a very visual person.
I think when you're learning tarot, so there are a few different systems of tarot. Rider-Waite is the system that I'm comfortable with. There's also Thoth. There's also Crowley. There's also a few different ones, but I'm most familiar with Rider-Waite. And like this is the This Might Hurt deck. This is the 5 of Cups. I love it.
I love that.
It's inclusive and LGBTQ, very friendly. It's an indie deck. That's why I got it. Like Page of Cups. I love the Page of Cups.
My husband got me a tarot deck, and it follows the Rider-Waite, but it's for the divine masculine. And so every card is of the card, but depicting men, and it's it's very inclusive, but they're all butt naked, and you see everything, and it speaks to my wheelhouse so much.
Why not? Who gives? Listen, honestly, this entire shelf, all right here, is all tarot decks. I have about 72 of them.
That's awesome. one for each card. Hey, if you're looking for a friend that would tell you, hey, you need to slow down, stop buying tarot decks, you've entered the wrong chat room. Because I'm like, which one do you not have that I could tell you to get?
I got an Amazon wish list. Get all of them. I want all of them. But honestly, the thing that I did with tarot and how I learned my very first deck, I'm not doing it with this one, but upright, I put the upright meaning, I wrote it on the deck, and then reversed, I wrote it on the deck, what it means. That's how I learned. That's how I learned.
That's interesting because I was actually going to tell you. I don't know if I have it out. It might be in my apothecary cabinet, but I bought a tarot deck because I was so excited, and I don't use it because it personally doesn't speak to me the way I thought it was. I bought it just out of novelty, but it is a training tarot deck, and it has the meanings, which zodiac sign aligns with what planet it's ruled by,
Right.
when it's in reverse and when it's in upright. And I'm thinking about either someone told me to put it on my Etsy store and sell it, but someone's telling me to save it because I might feel drawn to give it to somebody. But I love the back of my tarot deck is what is it? Houndstooth. So it's just I'm such an odd person. Like I love Houndstooth. I love
I've got
Gingham.
tons of weird decks up here. Actually, let me pull this one down. I'm getting a lot more into like indie decks. Like this is one of them. This is the 8th House Tarot. And I absolutely love this deck. She just released a new version. This is the back of it, pink smoke. But these are the cards. They're very, I don't know what they are, but they have like the zodiac elements up there on the cards. The tower. Look at the tower.
I love that.
Right?
What's that one called again?
This is the tower. This is the tower card.
No, the deck. What's the deck called?
Oh, the 8th House Tarot. I'll pull it up there.
That's amazing.
She's on Etsy. She's on Instagram. All of the above. But a lot of people, like I teach a few people witchcraft and tarot, and I've pulled this deck out and they look at it and they're like,
that's gorgeous.
Nope, can't do it. I get nothing from it. Look at the Queen of Wands. Beautiful, right?
Oh my God, it's got the black cat on it.
Yeah.
I love that. Sunflower. Sunflower is actually my favorite flower, and I actually have a black cat.
But a lot of the symbolism on this deck, sunflowers are a big part of the Queen of Wands in Rider-Waite. The black cat, the fire, the gold, like the
I love that. But see, my thing is like if I buy a tarot deck from like a non-metaphysical store, I am not going to pay more than like $14 for it. But that deck my husband bought was $78. But it was from a an Etsy store, and he said I want to support a local an independent artist. I
got, what is this one called? I pulled this one out too. I don't even know. The Moonchild Tarot. It was like $60, I think. And the artistry. So Danielle Noel, that's a 3 of Swords. Like I've never seen a 3 of Swords so beautiful in my life. The Hermit. Like
the Hermit's actually one of my favorite cards. Actually.
I love the Hermit. I've been in hermit mode, seriously. Ace of Pentacles. So the thing that I love about tarot, a lot of it, like I know the cards, I know what they mean, upright, reverse, whatever, right? They all have a bunch of different meanings. But the thing about tarot is it really depends on what card. The thing that I look for the most, what cards are around it.
Yeah.
I don't read reverse. I only read upright, because when I look at a card visually, I know that this also means this.
Yeah.
Depending on what's around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of
That's why I don't do one card pulls.
Yeah. No, why?
Now, I do love that Mrs.M does on her YouTube channel. She does a universal card to end the day off. And I like that. But if I'm doing a reading for myself or for someone else, I am not going to do a one card draw, because that one card only has that meaning depending on what's around it.
Right. Exactly. Like
that's why one of my favorite spreads is to go through your deck and find the death card. The card before it is the what to let go of, and the card after is what to home in on. And I like that because it gives you because if you just pull a death card, people are like, oh my God, 7 days. And you're like, no, it's a death card. It doesn't always mean death. Death is just a transformation of places.
Right.
A death card could be for a job you're unhappy about.
Death specifically is the end of a cycle.
Yes.
It's the period between the end and the beginning. The little squish of time. That's what death is.
Yeah.
It's the period between an ending and a beginning, and that's it.
Exactly. That's just like people are afraid of using fire in their craft in certain aspects because they're like, fire means you're destroying it. Fire is just simply transforming it from a different what do you call it? It's changing it from a different from a solid to many ashes. It's just transforming it. It's not destroying it. It's transforming it. That's why when you burn a Ouija board, it doesn't fix your problems.
The best thing that fire does in the craft is release.
Yeah.
It releases. And it releases really fucking fast. Just like an arrow. That's what fire does.
I had a witchy friend that came to me a couple of weeks ago and for advice because her stepmother, and I think it was either stepmother or her mother, I can't remember which one it was, but found her oracle deck and she burned it. And she was asking me, is that karma on herself or is that on her? I said, in my belief, I believe that is on her. I said, because she desecrated your sacred tools. So I believe that's on her. And she's like, okay.
Oh, she burned somebody else's oracle deck?
Yeah, her stepmother found her oracle cards and burned it. I said, honey, that's not on you. That's on your stepmom.
She's going to enjoy that for the rest of her life. But anybody that thinks that way, I'm going to do something real quick. What is this really? Ironically enough, it's the devil card.
Oh my God, we are literally fucking twins. Okay, sorry, side note. The devil.
Oh, Jesus.
When
so I just pulled a card off the top, and of course it's the devil card because I'm going to talk about this.
When I bought this from the thrift store, it was a pulpit from a church, and it was red and ugly, and I painted it all black with charcoal, chalkboard paint on top.
Yeah.
And as soon as I put it in place, I print out tarot cards as thank you cards for my business. Yeah. And all the cards that could have fell down on it, the devil and the reverse fell on top of it. And I'm like, okay.
The devil in reverse falling on top of that specifically because it was a pulpit in a church is actually relief.
Yeah.
Love that.
I love that. And my husband's like, oh my God, what does that mean? I was like, the devil in the reverse.
It's a release of toxicity.
Yes.
That's what it is.
It's a release of limiting beliefs, things that are toxic that no longer serve you. I said, this tells me that I was drawn to this pulpit specifically in a vision for this reason.
I would keep that there. Keep it there.
It is. I have it directly due north in my house, and it's amazing.
Beautiful.
Love it. It's just weird. The several things throughout this has happened. Like you have this, and I have that. You have this, and the devil card. It's crazy.
Yeah. See, those are the things. That spirituality is the coincidences you just cannot fucking explain.
Yeah.
But the thing is what is this really? It's paper with pictures on it. Is it a flashcard? It's a fucking flashcard.
Yeah.
You're literally remembering what this picture means.
Yeah.
It's a flashcard. Are you really getting mad over fucking flashcards and tell every little fucking first grader that they can't learn math with flashcards then because they're evil and of the devil? You really want to fight with me? I'm not the one.
I'm not the one. Today's not the day, but I can rearrange my schedule.
They're flashcards. There's 78 flashcards, and they all have a specific meaning.
There is. Oh my God.
So fight with me. Tell me about Oh,
But
of course, the Hierophant. The Hierophant has been stalking my life for the last 9 months.
really,
Yeah. So
I can never say that.
That's one of
Hierophant.
the
Hierophant.
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 You'll get there.
It's a North Carolina thing. I can't do it. I'm just like the H card.
Yeah, it's something I want to do on TikTok is tarot stalkers. When a specific card shows up in your deck consistently or in any reading to do with you personally, if it shows up every time, I call them a tarot stalker. Four of Wands. Four of Wands is beautiful. I like that. Celebration, gathering, marriage. It's the 1111 card. I love it.
I love it.
But specifically, cards will always follow you, especially if they're a major arcana. They can be minor arcana, it's fine. But if they're major arcana and they show up in every single reading that you do or have done about you, that's your tarot stalker. It's a cycle. It's a lesson to be learned. I need to learn what the fuck this means. I'm supposed to be teaching people stuff.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it means.
It's like, oh, the universe, oh, you think you know so much? Here, deal with this.
Yeah.
Cipher this.
Here, be the fucking Hierophant then, you smart ass bitch.
I absolutely love that.
My guides are very funny. They talk to me like I talk. Is it because it is what it is? Yeah, it is.
What is a topic of witchcraft that you're passionate about? Like something you could talk about for days? Tarot
cards.
Love
tarot. All day, every day.
Is that the modern deck?
This is the This Might Hurt deck.
Oh, it kind of looks like the artistry from
the Modern Witch.
Yeah.
I have that deck too, but I don't like it.
Really? I'm really weird about buying stuff online because I want to feel connected.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's nice. I've not used it yet. I've been through it, gave it my energy, everything, but I never feel called to pull from it. Same thing with Spirit Song. I think I'm going to do like a declutter soon of decks that I have that I don't use them.
Sell them off.
I know, right?
Make some coin back. That way you can buy new decks.
I know. But I have a bad habit of that where I just give away stuff.
Yeah.
If somebody needs something, I give it away.
Yeah.
And I need to stop doing that. I did that with all of my books. I have a very limited book collection of witchcraft books, which is fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Like I can find everything I need on the internet and I remember a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So not a big deal. My
husband's lucky. He has an eidetic memory.
Yeah. I think I'm very similar in that way.
I don't.
Yeah.
You show me something, I'm forgetting a heartbeat. I forgot I was hearing impaired until I couldn't hear them tell me I was hearing impaired again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forget everything.
Wait,
what?
Honestly, what? I question my everything about myself daily.
Do you know something that's like even more crazier? Why I think that my practice is delving more into the psychology of witchcraft is like that is because it's fascinating to me how our brains can work. So I have my hearing is depleting. So like I'll eventually, but the doctors say they don't know. One day I may lose all my hearing, and then one day I might lose hearing. And then I just stay at that for the rest of my life. They just don't understand hearing loss as much as people think they do. But my hearing is two-part. One, I have been to audiologists and I do have problems with connective issues and stuff like that. But the other half of my hearing loss is psychosomatic. It's a trauma response. My psychiatrist have told me from being yelled at and stuff. My hearing, but depending on my mood and my energy and how I'm feeling that day, my hearing can fluctuate greatly between days. That's crazy to me.
People call it selective listening.
Yes.
Jokingly.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
and then not
It's
knowing
real.
it's the thing. Literally,
It's real.
yes. Am I hearing impaired because of depletion of my hearing? Yes, but my brain also cuts off a portion of my hearing when I feel like I am high anxiety, and that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Our brains are crazy.
So our brains are literally, we honestly have the same brain functioning people with mental health issues, mental illnesses, past histories of trauma, PTSD and CPTSD in specific, have the same brain waves as somebody that's been hit by a car.
Wow.
Somebody that has damaged their brain so extensively with alcohol. It's the same.
Yeah.
The thing is when you stop doing that shit and you start treating your body correctly, your brain fixes itself.
Yeah.
Eventually you can get there, but it's hard work and it's a lot of tears and it's a lot of crying and it's a lot of punching shit that probably you don't want to do.
That's why I tell everyone that witchcraft is not a replacement for Western medicine and medical
Absolutely
professionals. Because there's certain things that you physically should not delve into with shadow work by yourself without a actual trained professional, because this shit is dark. And people don't realize my cousin, I won't say who, but my cousin, she went into college fine. As she's always had some sort of like anger issues like that, but she had a mental break in college, and I wonder why.
Right.
And they said that it triggered a form of a chemical imbalance in the brain that's kind of like bipolar disorder, stuff like that. And I did not know until then that certain mental issues and mental illnesses can be triggered by one situation.
Yep.
And that's why I'm not always the best person or the nicest person in the world, but I do try. And that's why I try, because I know what it feels like to feel unwanted, unloved, and sleepy and hungry and not having nowhere to go. I understand it. So it's like I would never want anyone to feel that way because of me, even though I know I have.
Right.
And it just comes down to sometimes the shadow work. That's why I don't like shadow work. A lot of people talk about shadow work on TikTok, but shadow work is not, okay, you're right, I was the victim in every single situation, I'm better. No, shadow work is realizing that there is no victim.
Exactly. That's exactly what it
situations.
is. That is exactly what it is. Shadow work. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no.
I have a long thought to go.
No, I stuttered for a second at the end. And that's why I looked down, because I was like, why did I say that?
Shadow work, honestly, is a big topic within the spirituality and witch community, like all of it. Shadow work, people hear shadow work and they're like, oh, it's about looking at the parts of yourself that you don't like, the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the blah blah blah, blah, whatever toxic trait, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The thing is you do that shit for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
Shadow work is to find out why. Why do you do that? I realized that I did it. I lied a lot. I lied about everything.
Yeah.
White lies. Like all of that in between. It's okay because it's a white lie. Like even that shit I don't do anymore. I will not fucking do it.
White lies leave dark black stains is what I was always told.
I lied because I was being abused at home and my mother and father told me to never fucking say anything. Yeah. So I had to come up with why. Yeah. Yep, everything's great. Everything's fine. Everything's lovely.
I fail.
Excuse me? No, everything's not fine. You fail.
No, like they ask you, why do you have a bruise? Oh, I fell. Oh, I ran into something.
Oh, yeah, I fell. I tripped. I ran into the door.
I'm so clumsy.
No.
Yeah.
Why do you keep saying you're clumsy?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you
And
say that?
And that's the question. That's what everybody. When you think you get to the final answer, ask why.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are not at the bottom.
And even when you think you're at the bottom, ask why. More.
Because these
Keep
things
digging.
make you who you are. No matter how hard you change yourself, you have to realize there's maintenance to shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, I've talked about this situation for months, and now I'm good. No, it's like, no, this
I
is
go
something you
through
have
it
to
all the
repeat yourself.
time.
Yep.
All the time.
I am loved. It could be something as simple as daily affirmations, but it's going to vary between everyone's different shadow work. And shadow work is not always planned. This thing could pop up. Like I said, I was in the shower before this, and bam, shadow work. Like, shit, I don't even know my own favorite color.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know my own food.
Why don't you know what your favorite color is? Why?
Yeah.
Did the one that you liked when you were a kid, people told you it was gay, so you stopped liking it? I don't know.
This is live shadow work. Not many people know this, but
it's what I do.
I have always been obsessed with Barbie. Barbie. I wanted Barbie so bad.
Honey.
Yes, Trixie would tell it. I ain't gonna have nothing if I could have money.
Yeah.
But I love dolls, and a lot of people think that's weird, especially since I'm a magical practitioner. They're like, you do realize that dolls can hold. I was like, this is something from the 80s, and yes, it technically still could be. I said, but I'm not stupid. I triple check everything's good with these dolls. The ones that I feel like you have to kind of watch out for, maybe not saying these can't, but are like the porcelain ones, like the real live dolls, like those they're scary. But I've always wanted Barbies and stuff like that, and I could never have Barbies, but I got to have GI Joes until that seemed a little too gay.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is literally why my
Their
favorite
smooth
color.
spots are a little too sexual, but son. Yeah, no.
I one time shaved everything, like my legs down in the shower. Well, not everything, it was just my legs. And I was like 12 or 13 at the time, and I really wanted to know what it felt like to have smooth legs, because I have hairy legs. The only part of my body that's hairy is my legs.
Felt nice, didn't it?
Oh my God.
So nice. Oh
until
my God.
Until it turns to Velcro.
Yep.
A few hours later, but I apparently didn't wash out in the shower all the way before I left to go to church with my friends, because I went earlier than my parents to hang out with my friends and pick up bus kids. But my mom went to church, and she got up behind me. She said, "What'd you shave? What'd you shave? What'd you shave? What'd you shave?"
Yeah.
What? Why were you shaving something? Why were you shaving something in the shower?
Yeah.
What? And it literally humiliated me. And oh my God, that was so humiliating to me. So from that day on, I refused to do anything that remotely seemed effeminate. And now I have found out more ways to be more gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for years I had self-hatred, because I'm like, I am a 6'2", 350-pound guy, and I'm like, I am like a twink in the body of a bear without hair. And it's
who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
You're not hurting anybody. Who gives a fuck is what I'm saying.
And then I always hated myself, because I'm like, oh, I'm not this skinny little Twinkie boy. I'm this. And I feel like that was the standard. Everyone wants that. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty cool too. I mean, my husband is a fox. Like, so I'm like, I must have did something right. So it's like, I mean, you got Drew a fox too.
Oh, I love him so much.
And his brain,
Sexy.
His tech, especially when he was telling me how to operate OBS.
I know, right?
It's like, we'll be back later, Stefan. The podcast is canceled.
I know, right? No, he's awesome. He's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
He's taught me a lot. I feel like we have a twin flame relationship, but that's another thing to talk about probably for another day.
Yeah, for another day. That'll be another podcast.
I could go forever.
But one of the few things that I want to say before we cut off, because this is going to be a bitch to upload on YouTube.
Absolutely.
But is there anything that you're working on, or anything that you want anyone listening to go let them know that you're doing this?
Honestly, I'm most active on TikTok nowadays.
Yes.
I like and comment and share and do as much as I can on TikTok. Honestly, my energy levels kind of range from day to day, so I kind of do what I can. Um, I'm working on my website, leahbenesky.com. That will be up shortly. I offer readings through Facebook and Instagram video messenger. We do a call, it's one-on-one. I read your cards, you ask me whatever questions you want. I do half an hour and an hour, so I do that as well. Look me up, DMs are open.
What's your website going to do?
My website is going to be a central location. I can sell my tarot wraps, my altar cloths, and my readings. I want to start doing, probably a podcast. I kind of want to do a little bit of everything, honestly.
Cool. When you figure out how to successfully do a podcast, please let me know, because I'm struggling. I'm struggling. It's going to have to always be pre-recorded, and I don't like that. So I guess I'll have to get people to submit questions from now on.
Yeah, set up an email. I watch a lot of podcasts, and a lot of them have an email set up. Just send questions there.
I love that. Now, people probably are going to get a raw thing of this on like YouTube and stuff like that, but on the podcast, I'll take out my ums and everything like that.
Yeah.
So no one has to listen to a 2.5 hour of Stefan saying
Oh, honestly, I don't think people care about that stuff anymore. It's human.
Yeah. Now, 2 people that I do want to let people know, besides my Etsy, I will not spend time talking about that, but go check it out. It's in my link tree. But there are 2 shops that I would like to shout out. One is Shopsadora. They're an amazing metaphysical company. They're a mom and pop shop. They're actually ran by magical practitioners of many years. I actually want to have them on the podcast one day, because I think it'd just be simply amazing just to pick people's brain. Just like Leah, like you're so intelligent when it comes to witchcraft, especially since you come from a background of always asking questions. I feel like people people like me who come from a very religious background, and you find out that everything you were taught was fake, you're scared once you latch on to witchcraft to ask why, because you're afraid that you'll find out something that it's all fake. And the thing is that your energy is not fake.
Everything's fake except for you. And
except for you. Like it's so weird to sit there and think sometimes, like, it's a stupid question. Like, have you ever thought of there are other people outside your own mind that live on this earth that are existing as you exist in your spot? I know that sounds crazy and like basic knowledge, but it's like, that's crazy. Yeah. There's people outside, because a lot of us don't think outside of our minds a lot of times.
I think the one thing that I have noticed the most is that I see older and newer / lower vibration and higher vibrations of myself in other people.
Yes.
Old situations that I've been in, I see them in other people, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, what?
It's scary.
Yeah,
it's
very
not
scary.
You're thinking, well, you're thinking like, well, I had these issues, and then it's like, oh, it could be coincidence. But when 12 people and you find out all the people that surround you have the same trauma as you, you're like, wow, these people are navigated to me to help them, or we're all meant to know each other to help each other, which is completely crazy to think about.
We are.
Like, I believe there's a reason why me and you had a connection. I believe there's a reason why me and Jacob have a connection. Me and Mrs.M and the owners of Seidora, is because I feel like, and once we all sit down and talk, we're like, wow, there's so many similarities. And like Jacob, when me and him were talking on Snapchat and stuff, he was doing a working for me, and in the middle of him doing this, the power in my house shut off and came back on.
Yeah. How do you explain that?
How do you explain that? How do you? Oh, also, when I had a situation, I'll explain later day, but it was a very dark hex I was doing on someone who sent my husband at death threat. I had to go to the hospital that night. It wasn't nothing related. It's something I've been neglecting for months with my knee, and I just decided to, and I felt the need to just go to the hospital tonight and get checked out. Well, they're like, there's nothing wrong with your knee. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
As soon as I got home, my knee quit hurting.
Yeah.
And then, but when my husband called me, he said, what is going on in your witchy room? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? He said, all the lights, because mine are all on the Echo devices.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that there's the lights are flickering on and off in that room, and then the Echo in my room starts playing Paint It Black.
Yeah.
As all the lights in the house flickered on and off, and then every time the Alexa would come on, oh, shut up. It would start playing Paint It Black. And I love that song, but it's not something I normally listen to when I'm doing shadow work or makeup tutorials, because it's like I don't want to put myself in the mood. And it literally scared him. And when I got home, I was like, okay. And so I got the item, and the next day I because I had it on my altar. And then I buried it the next day.
Bad hit.
Everything was fine. And I normally would not place anything like that on my altar, because like that's not that's not it.
Bad
but
hit.
I was specifically given permission to do this as a form of protection, because as soon as it left the house, like my husband said, it felt like an energy rush through the house. And I went out back and I buried it, because this is something I want to maintain. I want to maintain his misery because of what he did. But it's just things that happen that you have no way of physically explaining. We've had the house, we bought our house a couple years ago. We've had our wiring checked. There's nothing wrong. So it's like, why are these things happening at the exact second that it has to happen? A million different actions have to happen in order for something like that to happen. So it's literally crazy. And that's why I love practitioners like you and Mrs.M. Please go to everyone who's listening, please go check out her shop. She is simply amazing. I will have the links to everyone's Leah's there's something else I have to cut out because I keep umming. But Mrs.M and Shop Seidora, everyone links so everyone can go check out their pages. Simply amazing people.
They have beautiful shops.
They oh my God, they do. And I want to surround myself, because I feel like a lot of people, they're seeing the bad side of the community, they're seeing that, and I want them to realize that there are safe spaces out there. We can, me and you, Leah, no matter how much we've talked and we have stuff in common with our practices, there's a lot of things that, from you watching my TikToks and me watching yours and us talking, there's vast differences in our practice, and there's nothing wrong with that. And
absolutely nothing.
That's what I want people to hear, is that, and see that there's nothing wrong with having different scene practices and still being able to coexist and be friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, like I said, it gets lost. The message gets lost in the sauce, and it's like,
it does.
Okay, what now? So we all just text each other for funsies? Like, why? Why are you expending all of that energy when you could just pull it back, focus on your own shit? The thing about witchcraft is like, I feel like sometimes it's just too mainstream for me to even talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And but the other thing to notice is that if you approach it with the mindset that you are going to learn something new every day, I'm still learning new shit every day. I feel like a baby witch every day.
Yes.
We'll call it that. I feel like a baby witch every day, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But I feel like that.
Yeah.
Because we learn new shit every day.
I mean, exactly. I've been working with elementals and researching them for years, and I had no idea that they are considered part of the Fae.
And now hopefully you'll research that.
Yes, I will. But that also explains why I felt this like huge insult when people would say something bad about the Fae, even though I did not know anything about the Fae. But it turns out I've been working with the Fae for years.
Honestly, a lot of people have been working with the Fae for the years, and they have no idea what it is. A lot of people think deities are the Fae, or Fae are deities, and it's like, well, no. But
I think a lot of people get by on half truths. Like there's some truth in it, but it's mostly horseshit. That's
Or
why I
the-
have a problem with buying books, because it's going to be drenched in Wicca, and then I have to take half the Wicca. It's a $30 book. I have to take out, process out the Wicca information. Then I have to process out the writer's opinion, and then I'm left with 1/3 of the book that's even that I could even use. So $30 just seems outrageous. Unless I know someone who's writing a book, even if I don't fully agree with them, I can at least support a friend. But I have a problem with buying certain books.
So for me, the books that I gravitate to now they look like college textbooks.
Yeah.
They are
exactly.
They are just facts. No opinions, no.
See, that's what's weird about my grimoire, is that my grimoire, the information that I have in my grimoire, it's written out very, very, very a matter of fact. And that's because that's the way my dyslexic brain works, is that I take information and I take out the writer's opinion, I put down straight fact, and then I even leave my opinion out of it and write my opinions on the sidebar, because I don't want maybe some type of energy I'm feeling that day to affect what I'm writing in my grimoire for future times.
Exactly.
Because we have to get past what we think witchcraft is to actually get to the truth, because it's not what one person says it is, it's everything.
It's everything. Everything literally connects. And I am not mincing words when I say that.
Yeah.
Everything connects. Psychologically, physically, spiritually, mind, body, soul. It all is the same. It all connects. It all runs together.
Yeah.
And if people can understand that, it would solve a world full of problems.
I had a conversation with a girl that I work with, and I said, I'm pagan. I said, but I am secular. I'm a secular witch, but I still consider myself pagan because I still follow a lot of pagan traditions, and I still do I follow the witches' calendars like that. I said, but she said, well, I believe in God. I was like, well, I'm an atheist because I don't believe, in what people think gods are or what God is to the majority. And I said, but I believe that if everyone would just acknowledge that their gods or whatever are pretty much all the same, different types of the same type of energy, and we're all just freaking worshiping the same freaking shit, can we just all all get on the same page?
Yes. It's source. It's energy.
People are so
it's the
fed
universe.
Up. People get
it's
so
all
fed
the
up.
Same shit. It all connects. God is source, is the universe, is your spirit, is your soul.
Exactly.
Like, it's all the fucking same.
Yeah.
Chill. Nobody's gonna kill you because you like kissing men.
Exactly. This
you know
is
what I mean? Like, stop.
This is why I love your TikToks and the way you say things. It's because you are there's two different types of, and I don't keep anyone much longer, but this is one of the last things I want to say is that there are two types of people, in my opinion. There are oracle card people and there are tarot card people. Oracle card people, they'll tell you what you need to hear, but they're going to say it very soft and you're probably going to miss the point. And it's too soft spoken. And then there's tarot card people. They don't give a fuck about your mama, your daddy, your trauma, nothing. They're going to bring it up, throw it in your face, so you do better. And I feel like you are a tarot card person. That's the type of people I like to surround myself with. Because people are like, I wish I could just see a sign. And I'm like, literally, I need a billboard.
I'm a billboard. I'm a fucking billboard, and I'm happy to do that. I'm not a love and light witch. I'm not a love and light person.
I live in the shadows, and sometimes there's some light.
Yes. Love you. Less.
Yes.
I'm going to send you lots of light.
Yeah.
But I am comfortable trudging and holding somebody's hand through rock fucking bottom, through trudging through the worst pits of shit ever.
Exactly.
That's where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I have a sick sense of humor because of it. I swear a lot because of it. And
oh my God, yes.
Sorry, not sorry.
I have jokes that, like, I joke about my own trauma.
Yeah.
And it would make some people uncomfortable, but people's like, Someone told me one time, you shouldn't have a sick sense of humor about that, even if it happened to you. I said, no. What you should be upset about instead of my sick sense of humor is that you should be more upset is that people have done these things to me that have made me had to find some sort of like funny about how disgusting this is. I couldn't help I was 16 and I was raped. I can't help that. And I can't explain and I cannot rationalize why someone would do that to me at 16. But I can, through 12 years of living after being raped, I somehow have found very sick ways to make it, for me personally, to look at my situation and find humor in it. If not, I have tried in the past to call it quits. Yeah. And if I can say a few dark jokes to myself about my own trauma, and that keeps me going, go right ahead. And do I feel like the fact that I have to rely on that sick sense of humor or dark humor about my own trauma is something I need to work through in shadow work? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's no one's place to judge another person of how they cope with their trauma.
Exactly. It goes along the line of like coping. I was going to say coping skill shaming. Why are you coping skill shaming me?
See, and that's the weird thing. Last night I was thinking about questions I want to ask you, and I was going to ask you, do you think that coping mechanisms are inherently a bad thing?
No, absolutely. Why would they be? Why? Fucking why? I mean, there are extremes.
Yeah, of course.
I've worked with heroin addicts. I've worked with fentanyl addicts.
That's hard.
It's a coping skill though. Doing drugs is a coping skill. Medicating your brain so you can't feel feelings anymore is a fucking coping skill.
Yes. And see, that's why I feel like people who are caught or are arrested on drug charges, they don't need jail, they need rehabilitation, because people don't just wake up and decide to do heroin.
Yeah.
It's a series of events and traumas usually that lead them to that. They don't need prison with murderers and pedophiles. They need to be in a rehabilitational.
They need fucking help.
They don't need a criminal record either. Oh, get out of prison, live clean, and then guess what? It's on your record for the rest of your life. So people will always hold what you did in your past against you.
Yeah, they will. The other thing is I'm very like pro-choice, pro-consequence, especially when it comes to that stuff. Like if you're going to choose that path, then you choose the consequence, and that's you. Yeah. They go hand in hand, bro. Like
free will, you have free will, but you don't have free from consequences.
Correct. So if you make a choice, you choose the consequence. It's pro-choice, pro-consequence.
Exactly.
And I think some people finally get the consequences and they're like, oh no, poor me.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Well,
but the bad thing is that I sense their trauma. And so I don't go to, oh, what could you have done to so this will happen in the future? I'm like, let me hold you and hug you. I'm so sorry this happened to you. You're a victim.
Yeah. And welcome to the show, because I've done that my entire career. I'm learning that I'm in the past at least 5 years, I've learned that I cannot fucking do that anymore.
Yeah.
People need to go sit in your shit. You wanted to sit in shit. Guess what? You get to sit in shit for a little bit.
I've always heard, and I was always told when I was a kid from my grandma, everyone, regardless if you know it or not, you're making a bed and you need to get the crumbs out of your bed before the roaches come.
Yep.
Because
you
we're all making
you lay in it. That's where that saying comes from.
Exactly. But that could be a whole nother diving situation for another time. And I've done said I'm going to keep this short, but this is not short at all. So I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for coming on here for me and all this fuckery that's been going on.
I love it. Let's do it again. I love
Definitely.
It. Absolutely.
Two medicated bitches is what we could be. We're changing it from witchy friends to two medicated bitches.
I'm here
yes.
For it.
Yes. Anyone who's listening, please go follow her, please, because I would love to be able to do some of these on TikTok. We just got to get it to 1,000. Get it to 1,000.
Please, I've been working so hard, but
we need to get this done. If I have to only post videos, duetting her videos for the next month, I will. So all the witchy friends, please go follow. Thank you so much for anyone who is still further listening to this, whether it's on YouTube or if it's on my Spotify. I appreciate it all. And I know that also, please go check out, I will have your YouTube linked if you post anything on there.
Yes, and I will
Awesome.
tag you as well. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. And as always, blessed be.
Thank you. Blessed be.
Awesome. Okay. So we will call it quits now, and then you will upload it on your YouTube, and then I'll be